Hello, greetings, my friends. This is Gilles. I jump into those conversations about spiritual philosophy. And I wanted to discuss a few ideas. The first one is that obscurity, darkness, is actually a minute details within the scope of the grand universe. It is so small within the light that to God it is like something He likes. It's like so rare, and so because they are actually. From the Paradise Report, there is over 6,000 billion planets in evolution in the grand universe, and there's only a few thousand that have suffered falling into darkness. So it is very, very small. There will only be 7,000 billion planets in the grand universe, as time and space will stabilize with that number. 7 super universe, 1,000 billion planets in each of them, and then once this will have achieved the fusion with light and light, will open up to the grand to new level of transcendental universes. So but the darkness here, it looks overwhelming, and the lies, the corruption, the decadence, but it looks completely overwhelming, but it's actually because we're here and we don't see the grander scope of things. So there is those two spirals. Always, you can always stay on the ascending spiral, even on the emotional level. When you cut yourself going down, and just stop it, just breathe and turn back to the ascending spiral. For all those who are participating in those lies, manipulation, crimes against humanity, with all those dark programs, whether they're corporate leaders or their state leaders, or like just normal people even, or like dark extraterrestrials, whatever. You can just they will have it coming to them. They are on a downward spiral, and they will have to harvest the fruits of their creation. But as light workers, we are on the ascending spiral, and we are on the for life is a spiral. Our galaxy is a spiral. We are at the end of a grand spiral of creation, the 7 super universe, and we are, our universe is at the end of the spiral. So we don't have as much the full spectrum light as they had in the original universes. We're like but there is great deal of growth and meaningless in this experience, in this planet, in this beautiful planet we chose to integrate. For the darkness is a tool for ascension and evolution, and it's like the Melchizedek reported that the Lucifer rebellion brought 2.5 times more good than bad from a spiritual progress. So that's why it is allowed to happen, but it will not last forever. I wanted to talk about an idea, a concept. I often talk about the gods. Well, I'm not talking about the Greek gods. Those are very advanced extraterrestrial that looking at unevolved human beings presented, or the Anunnakis, or the Egyptians, or the Norwegians. Those were very advanced extraterrestrials that presented themselves as God in the time of Dara, where humanity were very, very in the much lower frequency. But now we're awakening to the oneness of all that is, and all those beings are working for the one God. For there is only one true God. But it has many facets and personalities. And on Paradise, the one God, the universal Father, is always surrounded by the presence of the eternal Son, and they're always surrounded by the presence of the infinite Spirit. So they're always working as this trinity of beings, and they always the first super universe is ruled by the Father alone, the second by the Son alone, etc. But our 7 super universe is has to be the blend of the Father, Son, Spirit administration. The seven master spirit is the personification of the Trinity as Orvonten. And so it's only always plural, but always singular. And our local universe, the universe we live in, which is like millions of planets in this part of the galaxy, is actually ruled by a father and mother god. And those beings, the father gods, are the creator sons on Paradise. They are born from the father and the son, and there is a complementarity of spirit in the infinite spirit that creates a daughter of the infinite spirit. They will become father, mother god of our local universe. They train for trillions of years in the central universe, and when they're ready, they are sent into the space domains to establish their own plan for evolution. And so it's fully approved by God, of course. They are divine, eternal creator beings. And so so there is, and then there is the DFI beings who are supervising the process, such as the great deities that are known in many religions or whatever, that are also that have become one with God. They are God as well. But we all have that inner divinity. There is nobody is more divine than anybody else. Just some people have more of God in their consciousness, in their realization. Everybody will eventually get there, and there are so many ways in this process. For there are always invisible forces that are helping us, assisting us, following us everywhere. They're monitoring all our thoughts, and the more when you do that, you're really a few steps ahead, because you're aware of certain things that many humans do not, humans in general, except for the initiated, are not aware. For those people who listen to my videos, we all are initiated already, for the most part. But I'm trying to be interesting for even the beginners. But just know you have this mirror, you have spirits that are with you, and they're monitoring your thoughts, and they can guide you with that process, and they're always there. I'm going to pull a few cards. I thank you for liking, sharing, commenting, subscribing. I thank you for your donations. If you're on a private session, you can send me an email. For the past is creation. It's being aware of the power of creation, and the present is unity, and the future is knowledge. So it's much more is coming, and we're gonna see the end of the dark era. It's gonna be quite exciting, and we chose to see that, and the dark and the light, the old and the new. For the present is to working through our choices. We have to make those choices, and it's always very personal. God will never force His will on an individual. It's all come from free will, and free will determine the timeline and the person that. And the future will be, the outcome of that choice will be reconciliation. We're going to be able to find peace and harmony. It's very important to rest really well right now, to be in a rest, because there is a metamorphosis on a cellular level between those eclipses right now, all the way to the solstice. It's very, very essential, very important to find rest, a state of rest and relaxation. This is when we have access, when we are connected to our soul, our higher self, and higher self is connected to the God self, to the cosmic mind. The one. So continue to pray and meditate, but do it in state of relaxation, in a state of gratitude for what is can be given. For we ask to do this transcendence, to move from linear to quantum, from material to light, to move from third dimension to fifth dimension. This is the first level, where to achieve transcendental salvation, to recognize ourselves as eternal beings. But on paradise, transcendental does not mean that at all. And for even for the first person that really talks about this word transcendental was Immanuel Kant in the Critique of the Pure Reason. For it's like what is independent of the object. But when we achieve this level of transcendence, we move from linear planetary material to galactic energetic. Doesn't mean that we'll have access to the whole galaxy. It just means that we are connected from a galactic standpoint. We have so much more access to the cosmic plane, and then we'll move into from fifth and sixth dimension. Then we're in 8 and 9, 7 and 8 dimension. We move into universal planes, and then we go into cosmic plane in the 9 and 10th dimension. But there are celestial level beyond that, and there are absonite level. Absonites are another words for transcendental in paradise. And when the God created the universe of time and space, the first level of cosmic manifestation, there was an eventuation. They were not created; they just eventuated 1,000 different orders of beings that were a future echo of that creation. The transcendental and paradise are not at all concerned with time and space. They're concerned with all the transcendental potential of what will come afterwards. The highest order of those beings is the architects of the master universe. They're the senior order, but there are there were 1,000 different orders of transcendental being, and beyond the absonites, beyond the transcendental, there is a co-absolute. Although there is only one absolute, there can only be one absolute, which is the universal father. But there always is recognized as an interaction between 7 co-absolute: the universal father, the eternal son, the infinite spirit, paradise, the unqualified absolute, the deity absolute, and the universal absolute. But those were will come into our consciousness. First, we need to integrate this absolute and ultimate level. For there's always something new to discover. Right now, we can touch upon those things. There is this book that reveals some of those levels. It's called the Urantia book. I recommend it. But for me, it's like the first two parts were very powerful. The third, and fourth part, there is good things in it, but it's like subject to interpretation and time of the revelation. A lot of things is hidden in relationship to the earth and the teaching of the Creator Son, Jesus. Although it's just really nice, but the first and second part were very powerfully influenced on me. For right now, there's all kinds of higher beings that are really getting closer. Even the dragons, the higher ascended dragons, are coming closer from the sixth dimension. They're descending, they're surrounding the earth. They're the guardian of the sacred fire. For right now, when we receive, there is always we have to be ready to receive what we require, and we need to align with what the energy of what we've been asking for. For the gap, that there is a gap in between when we ask and we receive. It's because there's so much to learn from the process. But when we reach the fifth, sixth, seventh dimension, everything as soon as we ask will be given, and so we need to clear up our mind and to not project. Because if we would get all the things that we project in our mind, we can create nightmares for ourselves. So we need to get clear and in very positive. Everything will come in divine timing, and to get very clear in our process. So I'm going to pull a few cards. The highest wisdom is in between world. We're right now in eclipse time. We're moving between. We cannot have total clarity. We're shifting from dimensions. What we need to understand is going far. It's like a marathon. We need to be. To be ready for this marathon, and if the race hasn't started, just continue to train and to be ready for when the goal will be the new cycle will be called to start this new cycle. What we need to do is young. There is a call for action from divinely inspired action, the divine will, expressing that divine will, and the outcome will be may the truth be. A lot of truth is going to come out this year, this summer. And even before, so just be ready for great big change. On a humoristic note, here we no longer, from today on, people do not have to wear masks outside. It's like the Belgian government struck a deal with the viruses so that outside the viruses wouldn't bother people. It was already there for when you were on bicycle, but now when you're walking down the street, the viruses will stay away from you if you here in Belgium. But then the viruses kept their ground inside the stores or inside the buses and things like that. And so it's like a deal. Well, we'll keep those territory, but then so it's like, to me, it's like it's such an absurd time that we're living. If this feeling of mask is really uncomfortable, it's like if I open my business, I hope I will be able to say masks are forbidden. And if you're sick, stay home. If you're not sick, you don't need a mask. For this is completely, but it's part of the show right now here, and so but now we can point to people out on the streets and remove your mask, like they were like put your mask on. It's like whoa. For some people believe that they feel good with wearing mask and they feel like I'm so protected, like I'm protecting you. I'm your savior by wearing a mask. Well, I'm sorry, like, you don't need to save me. I have my own heart to do that, my own immune system. Every time because also as soon as we have fear of something that can affect us from within, we remove the trust in our immune system, which weakens it we send a message of fear into our body. It makes our immune system. It makes we're losing faith and confidence in the process. We have God that protects us already. So that doesn't mean we can do anything and put ourselves in danger, but just my thoughts. I'm just very comfortable wearing mask. But I'm going to sing this song to finish. It's a song. It's not so much for the song itself, the words of the song. It's because it comes from a band that I really liked. It's an old band. It's really not known in Europe, but in America they had a really quite a pretty strong follow-up. They were called the Grateful Dead. They used to make concerts, and there was a lot of great, a bit hippie, but very good, very peace and love kind of crowd that followed them. And then after that, the band dissolved after Jerry Garcia. The band dissolved. Jerry Garcia died, and now it's like a band named Fish that kind of tried to pick up all this crowd that used to follow them around for these concerts. And so it's a song of the Grateful Dead. It goes like this. I lit up from Reno, I was trailed by 20 hounds. I didn't get to sleep that night till the morning came around. Set out running, but I'll take my time. Friend of the devil is a friend of mine. If I get home before daylight, I just might get some sleep tonight. I ran into the devil, baby, he lent me 20 bills. I spent that night in Utah, in a cave up by the hill. I set out running, but I'll take my time. Friend of the devil is a friend of mine. If I get home before daylight, I just might get some sleep tonight. I ran to the levee, but the devil cut me there. He took my $20 bills and vanished in the air. I said that running, but I'll take my time. Friend of the devil is a friend of mine. If I get home before daylight, I just might get some sleep tonight. Got to reason why I cry away each lonely night. The first one named Sweet Anne-Marie, and she's my heart delight. The second one is prison bait, the sheriff's on my trail. And if he catches up with me, I'll spend my life in jail. Got a wife in Chino, babe, and one in Cherokee. The first one says she's got my child, but it don't look like me. Said that running, but I'll take my time. Friend of the devil is a friend of mine. If I get home before daylight, just might get some sleep tonight. Got to reason why I cried away each lonely night. The first one named is Sweet Anne-Marie, and she's my heart delight. The second one is prison bait, the sheriff's on my trail. And if he catches up with me, I'll spend my life in jail. Got a wife in Chino, babe, and one in Cherokee. The first one says she's got my child, but it don't look like me. Set out running, but I'll take my time. Friend of the devil is a friend of mine. If I get home before daylight, just might get some sleep tonight. Someone set out running, but I'll take my time. For it's like there's one thing. There's like when the light gives you, it gives you, but when the darkness gives you, it will take it away back. It will take it back, and it's always a deception coming from the dark. So follow the highest, your highest heart, your highest love. For the heart knows the heart is free, and do not be tempted, or do not be swayed by the all the provocation of the ego and all those. For the card of the day, the last card of the day is the Revelation by Archangel Raziel. Joy through spiritual fulfillment, to enlighten the past of someone else, finding the answers to your questions through meditation. So rest, relax, meditate, take naps as much as you can, drink a lot of good water, clean water. Connect, just the more to continue to pray and meditate. In the most state of relaxation, it is important to realize the shadow is just an illusion, and your divinity is your truth. I thank you very much. I wish you a wonderful day, and I'll talk to you later. Namaste.